Mm, In the previous class, we discussed about different topics. Just let me see. So I think we have discussed about it till here, till trading setup 01. So we discussed like what is risk management, how to think as a trader, and of course, we also talked about what is support and resistance and everything. And of course, we talked about trading setup 01. Let me just open this way. In this class, we will continue the topics again. We will talk about how to or what is the short position. And of course, we will discuss about trading setup 02. And then we will discuss about trend lines because trend lines are a very important part of trading. So we will discuss about that too. Okay. And I will show you a few things regarding trend lines, how to draw it, how to properly draw trend lines in crypto market, and everything. So just give me a second. Let me see. Okay, here we are. Okay, so we discussed about this part in the previous class. We discussed about trading setup 01. What is the formula of creating a trading setup and everything. Okay, and I think I did not show you the actual trade or actual setup on real chart. So let me try to find out something for you guys so I can show it to you. I think we have one on Bitcoin. Right here we have this one. Okay, so see in the trading setup 01, what I told you that okay, if the market is moving in the upward direction, then of course it will face few resistance, correct? So here I can clearly draw this one. See this area, this is my resistance. It's a very simple example. So you can clearly see this is a resistance, and then we saw a resistance again, and then market moved up. It, of course, it fought with the resistance, and then it broke the resistance, right? See right here, it broke the resistance, and then it went up. Okay, just like how it did right here. See, then it moved up and found a new resistance, which is resistance 2. Guys, make sure you are on mute, please. Thank you. Okay. So then the market went up and now it has figured out a new resistance, which is resistance 2. You see this one? Okay. Just like how we draw right here. Then the market went down. So what happened? The previous resistance, which is resistance 1, now converts into a support. The resistance becomes support, theorem 1, right? So here what happened? The market went down and you can see if I extend this one in the future, it's very clear. The previous resistance now converts into a support, right? And from here, of course, once the market takes a U-turn, then you will enter. And then the market moves up till this point, right? Till to the resistance 2. And after that, of course, the market can move up or it can move down. We don't care about it after that. Okay, this is what we needed. And here, let's say this is our setup. What we have to do, we just have to take a, on the left-hand side, we have different tools, as you can clearly see. So I'm going to take a long position trade here. Okay, I will just, let's say if I have entered somewhere in this range. Okay, that's my range. I will place my stop loss around 3 or 4%. Always good. And I will try to put it something like this, my take profit level. Okay. So let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Now you see in this case. So I am entering around 4181891. 41891. Okay. The market went up and my target around is $51,718. That's my target. And my stop loss is around $40,067, right? So if I lose this trade, if the market goes down, and if I lose this trade, then I'm going to lose just 4%. It's written right here, you see, just below my cursor, it says 4.35%. And if I win, then of course I'm going to win 23.46. And if you divide those numbers, 23.46, okay, divided by 4.37, then you will get a ratio of 5.31. which is greater than 5, right? In the risk management, we discussed about that we have to take a risk to reward ratio of 5 at least. 5 is the bare minimum. Of course, you can take 1:6, 1:10, anything is possible, of course. Okay, but 5 ratio is the minimum one. Yeah. So this is one of the example. Now let's talk about the second part, which is trading setup 02. Okay. Trading setup 02 is also very simple. Okay. So trading setup 02 is very simple. It's just like how trading setup 01 works, but in the opposite direction. That's it. That's the difference. Okay. Now, so we are going to take, of course, this is 302. T02. Here we are going to take a short position. Okay. That means we are betting that the market will move down. We are hoping that the market will move down, and that's how we'll make our money, right? Then here, of course, just like in the previous one, what we did, second and third phase, because the market was moving up. This will happen in the fourth phase because the market is moving in the down direction. Okay. And then you can also use 1 hour chart, 4 hour chart, and 1 day chart. Okay. Generally, I like to use 1 day and then go on 4 hour and then go on 1 hour. Okay, that's how it generally works. It's a swing trade. So let me just write swing trade right here. Okay, anything else? No, I think we have covered everything. Okay, so that's it. It's a short position trade. We will be doing this kind of trade in fourth phase, which is markdown phase, right? Okay. So just like how we did right here. Here the market was moving up, and when the market moves up, we generally find out a resistance, right? We generally see resistance, right? In this case, the market is moving down. So what we will see? Can anyone guess? What we will see in this case, if the market is moving down, then you can use chat if you want to answer this question. What zone we will see if the market is dropping down? Okay, so we will see a support zone actually. Okay, so let's say the market is moving down, something like this. Yeah, support. Sorry. Yes. So yeah, so the market is dropping something like this. You can see. Of course, it will fight with the support level. Okay, and it will eventually break. So let me just write it. Support 1 and support 2. Okay. Then of course the market will down. It will go down from here. Now what we want this support 2 to act as a support, just like how we did right here. Okay, the same thing, but it's just in the opposite direction. That's it. So from here the market will move up. Now what we want this support 1 to act as a resistance. Support becomes resistance. When the market is moving down, this is how it works. Okay. So here what will happen? Our support will convert into a resistance. Okay. And the market will fall. And that's what we need actually. This is what we need. And of course, from this point, the market can go down, the market can move up. We don't care about it. Okay. That's it. This is what we need. This is our pattern. In the previous class, I also mentioned the same point. As a trader, we have to understand and we have to practice how to find out patterns. That's it. That's our goal. Okay. If you can find out patterns in the chart, great. That's our only goal, to find out patterns. Okay. Something which is repeatable. And then what we do, we put a layer of risk management on it. Okay. So here the market goes down. Now what we have to do? Very simple. It's just an open question. How many of you don't know what is a short position? I mean, of course, I think everybody knows what is a long position. It's just buy low, sell high. But how many of you don't know what is a short position? How can you make money when the market is moving down? How many of you don't know? If just write, I don't know, or me, or something else in the chat, and I will take care of that. Okay. Because then I have to spend at least 5 or 10 minutes to explain you what is a short position actually. How you can make money when the market is going down. That's what. Okay. But yeah. So here what we will do is after the U-turn, once we get a rejection from the support level, oh sorry, the support becomes resistance level, then right here we will enter. Now here enter meaning sell. We are going to sell. Okay, that's how we take a short position. And just right here we are going to book our profit. So exit means buy, right? In this case, okay. Sell high, buy low. Okay. And of course we will have a stop loss ready, so we will put our stop loss somewhere right around here. So that's my stop loss. Okay, so this is what we call a short position. Okay, so what we will do, we will enter at the top. Okay, and then we will buy back the same thing again at the bottom. Okay, this is how we make money in this short position. Okay, for example, let's say with Bitcoin. Right now we see this kind of thing right here. Okay, let's put something. Let's go on 4 hours. Okay. Okay, so let's say if we bet now that the market might move down. So we are betting when the market is going to move down. Okay? So what we will do here, we will just take a short position. How you see right here we have a tool, short position C. So what I will do, this is just a random thing. I'm not analyzing it right now, but just so you understand. I will enter right here somewhere at this point. I will put my stop loss above my entry position. Of course, in this case, in long position, we put our entry stop loss below the entry position. In short position, we put our stop loss above the entry position. Okay. And then right here, we will book our profit. That's it. This is what a short position looks like. This is a short position. And this one is a long position. Okay. You can clearly see the difference here. Just the opposite. Let me just put it right. Okay. This is a long position. This one on the right hand side. And on the left hand side, this is a short position. In short position, at the top, we have a stop loss. In long position, at the bottom, we have a stop loss. Okay, so that's the difference, first and foremost. In long position, we are betting or we are hoping that the market must move up. In the short position, we are hoping that the market must move down. Okay, this is the key difference. Okay. Just 1 second. I have to check a coin actually. Column. Okay, looks good. Okay. Now, I did not get any message, of course, but I hope you understand what a short position means. Okay, let me explain it to you in a brief way. So, for example, what we do is, let's say if I have an iPhone. Let's say, okay, I have an iPhone 15 right now. Okay, and the price of iPhone 15 is around $1,200. Okay, and I know on next Sunday the iPhone 16 is going to launch. That I have that information. Okay, so and generally what happens whenever there is a new technology coming into the market, the price of the old technology, it gets decreased. Okay, it decreases generally. So I know that, okay, on the next Sunday the market is the price of iPhone 15 is going to go down. Okay, that I have information. Why? Because there's a launch of iPhone 16. So now what I can do is, I have an iPhone. I can sell this iPhone to one of my friend on Saturday, let's say, okay, with worth of $1,200. Okay, and that guy, my friend, has no information about it, of course. Okay, so I sold it around $1,200. Okay, and then on Sunday the price of iPhone went down to, let's say, $1,000. Okay, now what I will do is, I will go back to the same friend again, and I will say to him that, okay, I want my iPhone back. And of course, today the price is around $1,000 for iPhone 15, and then that's why I will only give you $1,000. Okay. So what now you have? You have your iPhone back plus difference of this price, which is 200. So in a very simple way, you made a profit of $200 just by figuring out when the price is going to crash or when the price is going to go down. Okay, and that's what we do in trading. Okay, it's not that simple, of course. I'm trying to make it very simple for you guys. Okay, so what we did here is, we figured out by doing analysis or by doing some kind of information by getting, okay, that the market is going to go down. So the market went down. What we did, we sell high. You see, we sold high. We sold our iPhone at a higher price. And then we buy back the same iPhone back at a lower price. So again, within a day, we have the same iPhone. So the thing is still there. Okay. And of course, you made a profit of $200 in that case. Okay. Or, I mean, see, generally when we take a short position, it's not that it's this simple. It's a little bit more complex, because what we do in the exchange, it's we borrow coins from the exchange. Okay. We created a future contract. That's what we call a future contract. If you guys have time, read about it. What is a future contract? What is a short position? Okay. What is a long position? Okay, this is very interesting. We don't have that much time in our classes, so I can't just focus on one topic and elaborate you everything. But yeah, so read about what is short position, what is future contract, what is leverage trading, and everything. All these things are very important. Okay. But yeah, in more or less, this is what we call a short position. Correct. Now, let's try to find out this setup. Okay, let's try to find out this setup. Let's see if we can find out. Generally, it happens when the market is moving in the downward direction. So let's see. Okay, right here, I think we can see a setup. Okay, so you see the market is moving down, correct? And we can clearly see a support level right around here. See, that's a very good support. Okay, let's see this one. That's a very good support, right? After 1, 2, 3, and in the fourth attempt, the market is able to break the support level and the market went down. Correct? That's great. That looks very clear. And then we found a new support level. So support 1 and support 2. So this is my support 2, correct? Okay. Now what happened after that? From support to the market went up till to the previous support level. See how clear it is. The previous support becomes a resistance. This is what we talked about, right? Our previous support acts as a resistance. And then the market again fall down till to the, of course, this support level. Okay, so here what you can do is you can just take a short position when after the U-turn. We always enter after the U-turn. Okay, remember that part. So you can say, okay, but yes, this is a wick right here. You don't have to enter when the market moves up. You have to enter when the market drops down. Correct? So you have to wait for the U-turn. So I can put something like this. I can make, yeah, that's a stop loss. What is stop loss? And that's a profit right there. Okay. So in this case, you can clearly see if we will lose in this case. So we have a stop loss around 3%, 3.1%, good enough, nothing to be worried about. Okay. And if the market drops, then we are going to make how many percentage? 17.30%. That's a good profit. And if you divide 17.30 divided by 3.10, then you will get 5.57 risk to reward ratio. Okay. So this is a second example of trading setup. The first example of trading setup 02. Now what we will do is we will talk about how to draw trend lines. That's a very interesting thing, trend lines. Okay. So let's talk about it. See, first few theories about trend lines. To draw a trend line, we need 3 dots. First, let's say trend lines. Now, okay, let's just start from line. How to draw a line? Now, to draw a line in mathematics, if you draw a line, a straight line, you need 2 dots, point A and point B, a starting point and ending point, right? And then what you do, you just draw a straight line, something like this. That's what we call a line. But if you want to draw a trend line, then what you need is at least 3 dots. Okay, and then you connect these 3 dots in a straight line, and then you call it as a trend line. Okay, now it's a trend. Now there is something going on. Okay, so that's what we need. 3 dots, and then we can call it as a trend line, first and foremost. Okay. Now, usually we have 3 different types of trend line. The first one is, of course, horizontal trend line, this one. Okay. The second one is trend line inclined at a positive angle, something like this. And the third one is trend line declined or sorry inclined at a negative angle that I can see. So we have three types of trend lines. Usually, you will only use this trend line and this trend line. I don't think you will ever use this the horizontal trend line. Okay, because horizontal trend line is basically means support and resistance zone. So just draw a rectangle in that case. That will be much easier as compared to a trend line. Okay. But most of the time, you will be using this particular two trend lines, inclined at a positive angle and inclined at a negative angle. Okay, these two trend lines. Now, trend lines can act as a support and resistance trend lines. Okay, they can act as support and resistance. So for example, this trend line, okay, this is an uptrend line, of course. We can call it as an uptrend line. And let's say the market is moving up. So till this point, it's a support trend line, right? It is same trend line, but right now it's a support trend line. Okay, but what if the market drops down and will move below it like this? So then this becomes a resistance trend line. See, here it is acting as support. And now it is acting as a resistance trend. Why? Because till here it is we are getting support, right? And once the market drops down below this trend line, now the trend line acting as a resistance. Okay, so it can be a single trend line which can act as both support and resistance. Usually, if we have a trend line which is moving in the upward direction like this, we call it as an uptrend line. Okay, and if we have a trend line which looks something like this, and let's say the market is moving on it like this. Okay. So now again, the same logic. This trend line is moving in the downward direction, of course, but you can still call it as a support trend line here and a resistance trend line right here. Okay. But if you see the overall market from this point to this point is moving in the downward direction. So that's what we call, you can call it as a downtrend line. Okay. So remember these two things, uptrend line, downtrend line, and any kind of trend line can act as support and can act as resistance. So there's nothing to be worried about. Okay. Okay, I have your question. Except for the support and resistance, are there any indications to look for in order to know which direction the coins are going to take? Support and resistance is one thing, trend line is one thing. Then we will be understanding about Fibonacci. So that's the second thing. Third thing, almost. You can use higher highs and higher lows, those kind of things. Okay, which we discussed in the first class about market phases. That is the fourth part. You can also understand patterns. We have not talked about patterns, but that is also the fifth, sixth thing. We can also use few indicators. Okay, so there are many things to understand or to figure out where the coin is moving. Okay, but support and resistance is like the very basic ones. Everyone uses it, everyone understands it. So that's why it's very important to understand support, resistance, trend line, and everything. Okay, they're the easiest one, to be honest. They're the easiest one to understand. Okay. So yeah. So now let's try to draw some trend line. We have discussed about it. We now know how to draw. Okay. And what is a trend line? So let's try to draw some trend. Now you can clearly see I have a trend line right here. Okay. Now how you can clearly see how I draw it. How I drew it here. Point A, point B, point C, and then point P. Okay. And now you can clearly see the trend line is broken. And almost that trend line is now acting as a resistance trend line. Almost. Okay. So this was a support trend line till now. And now it is acting as a resistance. So there is a chance that the market or Ethereum might go down. Okay. And this trend line will act as it. Now, yeah, I can draw, of course, I can draw many trend lines. Let me draw some for you. Let's go on daily chart. 3. How many confirmations do you need to predict the trend line? That is the question. You just need 3 dots, 3 points. That's it. Okay. So, I mean, the minimum is 3. The maximum, it's up to you. You can use 5, 7, 10. It's up to you. Okay. So, let me choose a And one more thing, trend lines are everywhere. So you will find them on a 1-day chart, you will find them on a 15-minute chart, you will find them everywhere in every time interval. Okay. So right here you see, you can clearly see it's very easy, right? In this case, you can try to draw some. So let's draw this one. That's a trend line. 1, 2, 3. 3 is minimum. Now in this time it has 4 and then 5 and then the trend line is broken in the future when the market went down. Okay. So this is a trend line and this can be also a trend line. See this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. Okay, so this one is a resistance trend line. This one is a support trend line. Okay. Something like this can be a trend line. Can we think? No, not a proper one. Why? Because it has only 2 dots. There is no third dot, right? That's why this is not a proper trend line. Can we draw this as a trend line? Let's see. We can or cannot. Let's see. That's a trend line. Why? Because 1, 2, 3. And then there is a break of trend line. So that is also we can count. Okay? But this is not the 4th point. This is the 3rd point. So till here, we already know that, okay, something can happen in the future. We can draw, there are many trend lines. As I said, something like this can also be a trend line. Okay. So we have point 1, 2, and almost the 3rd point is right here also. So we have point A, point B, and point C. Okay, and then you can clearly see there's a break of trend line and the market move up. So as I said, I was saying trend lines are everywhere. That's a trend line right around here. See, point A, B, C, D. Then again we have a trend line right around here. Point A, B, C, D, and then there is a break of trend line. The market went below the trend line. Then you can see the panic in the market, right? Market went down by what? 27%. That's a good percentage. What I'm trying to say is that it's very easy to draw trend lines. Okay, almost every trader use trend lines. Okay, and you will find them on every chart. I mean, you can clearly see I've drawn it on most of it. So this one is also trend line. See 1, 2, 3. Okay. If I go on a, let's say, a minute chart. Let's go on a minute chart on Bitcoin because that will be easier to understand. Okay. So if you want to draw a trend line on a minute chart also, you may find it. So that's a trend line. Right? See, A, B, C. 3 points we have. Good. Good. So that is also a trend line. Now, this can be a trend line. So this one, I believe. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. So that's a trend line. And trend line are everywhere. It's very easy to understand, easy to figure out. You just need a little bit of practice. That's it. Okay. Now, why? Why we have to use a trend line? Why? I mean, we understood about support and resistance because there is a supply, there is a demand, there are buyers, there are sellers, everything. Okay. And we understand why we have to draw support like something like this, right? Like using a rectangle. Okay. And not with a line. We always draw support and resistance like a zone. It's not just a line, it's a zone, okay? But on the other hand, support and resistance is also only useful for a horizontal, this kind of level. That's it. Okay. But what if the market makes support throughout? Let's say something like this. Okay. So that's the support. That's the support. That's support. We know that. Great. But how can we connect all this support? So that's why what we did is we created a trend line. Okay. So that's a trend. So we have to make sense of all the support levels, and how we are going to do that by using a trend line, by using a line. So what we did, we connected the dots, we connected the support levels, and we said, okay, this, of course, there is a support, but this is a trend line, and the market is respecting the trend line. Okay. If a trend line is broken, then you will always see some kind of movement in the chart. Okay. For example, right here, I can draw a trend line, right? This one, see, it's a very simple trend line. 1, 2, 3. What happened next? You can clearly see. The market broke the trend line, and you can see the volume of, or the size of your candlesticks. See how solid they are. They are bigger. There is more volume, more buyers. That means. So once a trend line is broken, you will always see some kind of volume. Now that volume can be in both directions. Of course, it can be a buyer's volume or a buyer's volume or a seller's volume. That I'm not discussing right now. But you have to make sure there is something is going to happen once a trend line is broken. Maybe there will be panic or there will be greed. In this case, it's a greed, right? The market went up. Now, for example, yeah, right here. I mean, I can, if I want to, I can draw a trend line right here also. See something like this. Support, support, support. Sorry, point A, point B, point C, point D. And once the trend is broken, what happened next? You can clearly see the market went down. Correct? 59%. That's an insane percent of Bitcoin. Okay. So the market went down. So here a support trend line is broken. And once a support trend line is broken, because of that, the market went down. Okay. That's a support trend line. This one is a resistance trend line. And if the resistance trend line is broken, what happened next? The market moved up. Okay. Great. Yeah. So that is support and resistance trend lines. Now, yeah, we do have time. Let's talk about trading setup 03. You understood what is the support and resistance trend line, believe, right? Yeah, see this one. Horizontal, positive angle trend line, negative angle trend line. This is what we call downtrend. This is what we call uptrend. That's a peak. Yeah, P is for peak, T is for trough. Okay, and there is the time, of course. Time and price is there. Okay, but this is a trend line. Always use 3 touches to draw a strong trend line. 3, minimum is 3. Maximum it can be 4, 5, 8, 10. It's up to you. Okay. Now let's talk about trading setup 03. Trading setup 03 is important to understand, but you might not use it. Okay. Why? Because crypto is more volatile. That's why you won't use it most of the time, but it's important to understand. So let's talk about trading setup 03. So this T03, you will use T03 when the market is moving in a sideways direction, mostly. So basically in the accumulation phase or sometimes in the distribution phase also, because as I mentioned in the first class, there are 2 types of distribution phase. Parabolic is also distribution phase, and sideways is also distribution phase, correct? So yeah, sideways movement, accumulation. Okay. In trading setup 03, you can take 2 types of position. You can take long position also, and you can take short position also. Okay. Both. You can take both positions. I mean, when I say both, I don't mean to say like parallelly you have to take both positions. Okay. Once you can take long, and then if you think the market is going to drop, then you can take short after that. Okay. So long and short position. Of course, just like every time. So you can use 1 hour chart. 4-hour chart and 1-day chart. And this is also swing trading. Let me just tell you, you are not going to use this strategy. I don't think you are going to use it. So there's a big cross right around here. Okay. But this is important to understand. We have to understand how the market moves, how the market behaves. That's why I'm teaching it to you. Okay. Okay. So now we have two trend lines, horizontal trend lines, of course, but we have two trend lines, right? So I can call it as a support trend line, and that's my resistance trend line. Okay. And of course, the market will move between these trend lines. Something like this. Yeah, that's it. So, and let me give it some names to this point. So it will be clear. So let's say A, B, C, D, and this one A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, and E dash. Okay. So the bottom ones are A, B, C, D, and the top ones are A dash, B dash, C dash. Wouldn't that be considered zone? Okay. Yes, that's why I said. I will come to that question. Of course, I will come to that question. It's a good question. Okay. But let's say if I'm drawing a trend line now, okay, I'm just drawing a trend line. I'm not drawing a zone. I'm just drawing a trend line. Okay. And the market is moving between these two trend lines. Okay. It's touching them again and again. The market is moving between this. Now see, the combination of all these things is what we call, I mean, of course, we call it as a trend. Okay. A sideways trend. Okay. Sideways channel. When we say like a channel means that the price is moving between two areas or two zones or two trend lines, okay, something like that. So that's what we call a channel. So a channel always looks like this. Okay. So we can call it just as a channel, a sideways channel, okay, or horizontal channel or something like that. Okay. Now we have point A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, E dash. Great. Okay, now you know everything. So if the market is moving up, you have to enter right here. You have to exit right here. You have to put a stop loss right here. Okay, that we know. If the market is going down, then of course you have to put a entry right here, exit right here, and a stop loss right here. Okay. Now think about it. If the price is moving sideways between two trend lines, one is a resistance, the other is a support trend line. Okay. Now any one of you, please do give me answer. If you, I mean, if it's a wrong answer, no worries, but do participate. Can anyone tell me on which point I should take a trade? On which point? Can I take a trade on A dash? Can I take a trade on A? Can I take a trade on B dash or B or C dash or C or D or what? On what point, on which point I should take a trade? Remember, in this channel, we can take both positions, long and short both. So there is nothing to be worried about. Just tell me the number. That A dash, B, what? I will give you 1 minute to think about it. It's an important thing. Think about it. Why? I mean, on what point I can take a trade? C dash, C, B dash, B. On what point? Anyone? On what point? E dash. Okay. We have one answer, E dash. Okay. B dash and B. Short. Okay. Okay. B dash and B. Anyone else? B dash and B short. Great. That's a, I mean, of course, it's not the correct answer, but that's the answer of course. Okay. So let's make it clear. See, as I told you, we need minimum 3 dots, 3 points to identify a trend. Before that, we can't say if it's a trend or not. Correct? So that means I can't take a trade on A dash. I can't take a trade on A. I can't take a trade on B dash. I can't take a trade on B. I can't take a trade on C dash also. But once we have a C dash, that means we know that there is a very high chance that the market might take a U-turn from C. And once the market takes a U-turn from C, then I can take a trade. So from here onwards, I can start taking trades. So I can take a trade on C, on D dash, on D, or an E dash also. Okay. So, but the first 5 generally we ignore. The first 5 points. Okay. Why? Because till this point, we don't even know if this is going to be a trend or not. In this area, we don't even know if this is going to be a trend or not, right? We need 3 dots, correct? But once we have a third dot on a resistance line, trend line, or maybe on a support trend line, then we know that, okay, there is a chance that it might act as a channel. Okay. So, of course, you can take a trade on C dash, D dash, D, and E dash. Okay. Now, I think I don't need to show, but this is how we enter. So we'll enter right here. We will put our stop loss right here, and we will exit right here. Again, if I want to take a short position, then of course I will take a entry position right here, exit point right here, and a stop loss right here. Okay. So that's a long position. That's a short position. Again, you can take a long position. Nothing to be worried about. So this is what we call a channel. Okay. Now, why we should not use this particular setup? It's a good setup. Everything looks good. This is a theoretical part, so everything looks good, right, in this one. But in real life, what will happen? In real life, this kind of thing will happen. A small thing, right? So this is our trend line, resistance, support. And what will happen? The market will move something like this. This is how the market moves. Okay. Now, if you draw a line, a trend line, just a single line, what will happen? Your stop loss will trigger. Your stop loss will trigger again and again and again and again. Right? And that's not a good thing for us. We don't want that kind of situation. And because crypto market is more volatile, okay, it can move like 5% is a very easy move in crypto. It can happen within 15 minutes, within 5 minutes also. Okay. So that's why what we do is we don't use this strategy generally. Okay. And now the question was given here that wouldn't that be considered zones? Yes, we should consider this as a zone. So if you want to take this kind of trade, what you should do? You should create it as a zone, something like this. Something like this. You should create it as a zone. Like this. Then you can take a trade. Okay? But do not use a line. I mentioned this part because I wanted to show you what the channel looks like. This is what we call a horizontal channel. Because maybe if you go on YouTube and if you go on and read about this stuff, you will see this thing. And then you should not be worried about it. Okay, we don't know what is a channel, right? So this is what we call a channel. In a channel, in a horizontal channel, especially, use a zone instead of a horizontal trend line. Okay, and that's why here also I said you may not be using this horizontal trend line most of the times, right? Because the horizontal trend line is what, like, it will be better for you if you just use a zone, right? That will be good. Yeah. Example, if you want, of course, we can talk about the example itself. Let's try to find an example. On Bitcoin, I think we don't have, not that much. Horizontal channel. I think it will be very hard for us to find an example of horizontal channel. because that's a very, I mean, okay, we do have. Now I remember. 1 second. Let me show you. I remembered now. We have that on link. Yep, right here we have. Yep, this will work. So here I can use, see this one option on trend lines. We have an option called parallel channel. Okay, so I can draw something like this. See, that's it. That's what a channel looks like. Sideways movement, A, B, C, A, B, then a point, third point, C. Okay, maybe if you count this one, of course you can count if you want to. But this is what a example of channel. This is what it looks like. Yeah, this is what we can call it a horizontal channel. Okay. Now, let me give you some homework. I think I have already given you homework in the previous class. I gave you homework in the previous class. And if I check the Telegram group, I don't think anyone has submitted any homework. I think no one had. This is our group, right? Has anyone have done support and resistance homework? If you have, then please share it in the group, so it will be easier. No, I don't think anyone has done, but no worries, no worries. Okay, so see, let me show you how you can do it. Okay, in a very easier way. So let's open Bitcoin chart. Let's see, where is Bitcoin? Yeah, let's open Bitcoin chart. Okay. Now, what I want from you guys actually is very simple. Open a chart on tradingview.com. How to open it? Let me show it. If that's the problem, then let me show it. Okay, this is a recorded video, so of course you can watch it. I didn't, because TradingView needs subscription. No, TradingView does not need a subscription. I am still using a free account on TradingView. See, upgrade now. It's saying upgrade now, 30 days free trial. You can create a free account on TradingView. You don't need to pay a penny to them. Okay, you can just open an account, a free account, and use it. You don't have to buy the subscription or something like that. Nothing to be worried about. I am still using the free version, right? And it's working fine. Okay, so that's your home page. Something to look something like this. 1 second. Yeah, it will look something like this. Okay, that's your home page right here. Now what we have to do here, we have to just go on the markets, the third option from the top, and then you can just click on this area, crypto. See, crypto, and click on Bitcoin. That's it. Markets, then crypto, and then Bitcoin. This point. Okay. If I click on it, automatically a page will open, and this is how it will look. It says Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin, a C line chart, and everything. Now what you have to do? Now you have to click on this option. See on super charts. This option. Okay. If you click on this option, automatically you will see. Now you will see the chart. That's a chart right here. Okay, understood? Now you can use different tools on the left hand side. You can change the time interval. You can add few coins in your watch list. It's up to you. What now you have to do. Okay. Now what you have to do is basically very simple. Draw some support and resistance by using rectangle. So that's a support for me. That's a resistance for me. Okay. So resistance, support. Correct. Now what you have to let me do it in the proper way. Let me just write it here. That's a resistance. Okay. And this one is a support. Okay. This is how it looks. Correct. This is what you have to do. Draw resistance, draw support. Then what you can do is you can just see this camera icon on the top right corner. we have this camera icon. Take a snapshot, it says. If you click on it, then you will see different options. Download image, copy link, open in a new app, tweet image and everything. What I can do is I can copy the link. Of course, you can also download the image if you want. Okay. But the easier one is the copy link. Copy the link. Okay, it will here say link to the chart image copied to clipboard. And if I want to send it to everyone in the Zoom chat, see, I can just send a link. You can all check. Okay, and if I want to send in the group, I can send it like this. Done. Okay. So this is the link. And if I click on the link, you see now what happens? This opens. Correct? A very simple way to share your analysis with me. Okay, it won't be, it's not that much hard. It's very simple. Okay. And if you want to draw some trend lines, of course, you can draw. Let me give you an example. Let's say Gala. For example, if I want to draw a trend line, let's do it. Boom. Okay, that's a trend line. Point A, B, C, D, and then this trend line becomes a resistance line right here. You can clearly see. Okay, that's a trend line. I can draw multiple trend lines, of course, if I want to. Let's say this is also a trend line. Okay, let's play with it. Okay, again, click on the take a snapshot option, copy the link. Okay, and send it in the group. You can send it in the group. Also, if you want, you see now. Okay, 1 second, it will upload. I think it will also show. I believe. Yeah, see this one. This is how it looks. So it's very easy to share your signals or share your analysis with. It's not that much hard. Okay? But yeah, any question that you have for me, guys, please. We have completed till here. Almost till here. Okay, this is the 4th class, I believe. So, okay, we still have time, so nothing to be worried about. In the next class, we will talk about trading setup 04, 05, and 20-day moving average. All these 3 topics we will complete in the next class. Today, we completed trading setup 02, trend line, how to draw trend lines, and trading setup 03. If you have any question, we have 4 or 5 minutes left in this session. Please drop your question, so I will take it from there. Any kind of question. Even if you think it's a stupid question, you shouldn't ask it. Please do. Okay. Please drop your question in the chat. I will be very happy to answer your questions. Make sure they are related to trading because that's my department. I understand trading. I do trade. So any kind of question, if you have related to trading, please send it to me. I will be happy to answer. Even if you think it's a small question, just send it to me in a private. Nothing to be worried about. Okay. And whatever you are learning, see, if you guys are attending the class and not even thinking about trading or not even attempting to trade a trade, right? Please think again, right? Do give it some time. Do read about it. It's possible to make money in the market. Okay. There are people who make good amount of money. So think about it and give it a chance. Okay. Because you're already taking classes. You are spending your 1 hour, I think 2 hours per week. Okay, in the classes, and make sure you just give at least half an hour or an hour, let's say, per day to learn about trading. That will be easy. Okay, within 4 months, maybe in the next 6 months, but eventually you will learn how to trade, and eventually you will start making some money. Okay. Any question, any kind of question? We have around 19 people. That's good. We have good number of strength today. Okay. If not, then nothing to be worried about. If you have after this class, if you have any question, you can always share it in the BTCV community on Telegram. I will reply to them. Just try to tag me. I don't remember actually, but what is Uh, I don't remember my username, but yeah. But this is me. I mean, you can just find out who I am and what's my username. So just if you have any questions, just tag me in that particular message. That will be easier for me to understand. Okay. Yeah. If not, then of course we can conclude this class. In this class, we have talked about three topics: trading setup 02, trend lines, trading setup 03. Okay. In the next class, we will talk about trading setup 04, 5, and we will talk about moving average. Moving average is the first indicator. Okay. In the next class, see, we have already completed in the next class, we will complete all the beginner setups. After that, things will get interesting. Things will be more complicated, of course. Okay, and then we'll talk about indicators, base breaking strategy, Fibonacci, different topics, different interesting topics. Okay, so yeah, I hope you found this session informative and useful. If you don't have any question, that's great. Nothing to be worried about. Let's meet in the next session, which is on next Saturday. Okay, and maybe if we change, then of course the team will inform you. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you for the yeah. Welcome, Sasa. Okay, bye bye everyone. Have a great day. Bye bye.